Ayayere uyo uko kuno abo bano mamuona kere nai.
Right, 16 October 2021, and today I have taken a moment to reflect. I want to speak about the editorial policy of Gambakwe media on Nelson Chamisa. I normally do this once a month, or I used to do this once a month. And unfortunately, because of the situation, I never had time to talk to the audience about what we're doing at Gambakwe Media, which is something that I used to do at the end of every month in 2020. But today, I want to look at our relationship with Nelson Chamisa's party, which is also called the MDC Alliance. And I want to unpack where we're going to be going, especially with the relationship, given what happened last week. You saw that I went to cover an event by Nelson Chamisa's South African branch here in South Africa, and they blocked us. This is the second time that this has happened, and I would like to condemn what happened. This is terrible for a party like the MDC Alliance. And fortunate for me, I was able to express myself at the scene. So I'm not the kind of person that is going to just hide and run away. I express myself to the people that were there so that they know that what they're doing is not right. The biggest problem that is there with media in Zimbabwe across all political parties is that as long as you're covering them in positive light, they are happy. So if I write a good story about Nelson Chamisa, if I write a good story about President Mnangagwa, if I write a good story about Nkosana Moyo, they are happy. And then the day when I write a negative story, without fail, all these big political parties and the small political parties, they want to say, why did you write this story about me? You are not my friend, you are a sellout, you are not a journalist, you're not running a proper media house, all those kind of things. So we have a problem in Zimbabwe where the media is not being given space to do its job. If today Hope Chingono was going to stop supporting Chamisa, it will be chaos for him. He's going to be the most hated person. But as long as he continues to support Chamisa, he's going to be okay. If Zimai of Simbachkanza stops supporting Chamisa, they will be hated badly by the people in Chamisa's party or in whatever party. They'll be hated. So the media and the role of the media is not being properly understood. But I want to unpack the issues around Chamisa and his political party and the way that they handle the media in Zimbabwe. So this is specific to MDC Alliance, especially of Nelson Chamisa. So let's start with who is Gambakwe. So most of you have seen me starting this media house just before the elections in 2018. But who is Gambakwe? Gambakwe is probably one of the longest running editor of a newspaper or a magazine in Zimbabwe. That is because in 1997, I was the publisher of the student magazine, the Nast Observer. So that was the student magazine, and I'm sure guys like Msavaya and Bota, they know that already when they got into SRC, I was running the Nast Observer. So in terms of my media credentials, they're unquestionable. There's no one with similar credentials than me. I was running media before there was internet, when it was really dangerous, when we used to go and run in the roads, on the street, demonstrate, do press-ups. That is where I'm coming from. So when I see the young guys saying Gambakwe is ZANU-PF and so forth, I want to laugh because you don't understand my democratic credentials. Specifically, I believe that everyone has the right to be in a political party they want. A person in ZANU-PF is not my enemy. A person in MDC Alliance is not my enemy. a person in MDCT is not my enemy. However, there is a tendency in the MDC Alliance of saying everyone else who is not in MDC Alliance is an enemy, to throw insults and so forth. I do not agree with that. I do not subscribe to that. I do not buy it, and I do not care for it. So if you're an MDC person and you come here with your MDC Alliance, the only political party, you are not complete in terms of your understanding of democracy. So you can continue and think that you are the God-given party, which is holy, which is supposed to be in power. But I don't buy it. I see everybody who is in politics as someone who is supporting their own side. I've got guys in ZANU-PF that I like very much. I've got guys in MDC Alliance that I like very much. I've got guys in MDCT that I like very much. But in between the 2017 and 2018 period, I did work with almost all the big political parties. So when I talk about working, I mean covering them. So you saw me covering Mam Juru, Nkosana Moyo, Noah Manyika. I was sitting with a lot of guys. I think up to 10 or 11 of the parties that contested. And without fail, there is someone who is close to the leader who doesn't want a prominent media person next to the leader. So if we take the MDC South Africa situation, it's very sad. The guys in MDC South Africa, their lunch is being eaten by ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF South Africa is doing a good job, and we cover them. Now, when we go on to want to cover the MDCT events, and you arrive there, obviously they feel self-conscious. They don't want you to cover those events. But covering an event of a political party doesn't mean you're a member of that political party. So when you see me covering an MDC Alliance event, or when you see me sitting with you as a media person, I have to create rapport with you, but I'm not your friend. So don't think that because Gambakwe was covering us in favorable light in 2018, then he's our friend. I'm there to do a job, and I'll do it well. And specifically, Gambakwe has got two portions. We are the only media house that offers analysis in Zimbabwe. So if you look at other journalists that are quite prominent in Zimbabwe, they don't offer analysis. They do news, or they do a little bit of written news. They talk about issues in writing. So text is dead. If you write something in text, in a few weeks, it will be gone. But if you make a video, it will last forever. So Gambakwe is going to analyze issues. So we've been analyzing since the time when there was the Supreme Court ruling. We've been analyzing that, the death of Tsvangirai, the rise of Nelson Chamisa, the departure of Thokozani Kupe, the Harvest House saga. These issues, we've been covering them. And in terms of analysis. So today you see me covering an issue, and then tomorrow you'll see me sitting and interviewing somebody for their own opinions. So the time when I'm offering an analysis, I'm wearing a different hat. And the time when I am interviewing someone, I'm wearing a different hat. So during that time when I'm analyzing, I'm going to give my opinion. That is called an editorial. So let's say I want to give an editorial about Chamisa winning or losing the elections. That is an editorial opinion. That is what I believe. And then when I have a guest, that guest has their own opinion, and that is what I give, what they give, and I give them a platform. So you ask me, why do you bring Tinashe Jonas to Gambakwe? He doesn't like Chamisa. It's his opinion. Everyone has a right to talk. Why do you bring Kalipani Pugeni? Kalipani Pugeni was very opposed to Nelson Chamisa when he started. But if you see now, because of the discussions that we have, Kalipani Pugeni, or Senator Kalipani Pugeni, has sort of softened his stance on many issues. We discuss very critical issues like Gukurahundi, very difficult topics. And also sometimes we make mistakes. So there was a time when we had a story here about Fadzema Here being pregnant by Chamisa. That story was given to us by a person very close to Chamisa. And we published that story in good faith, thinking that this is what had happened, but it had not happened. A mistake was made. I made an apology about it. We made a lot of mistakes during the time when General Chiwenga was in China. You remember that story, we followed it for weeks, and that was analysis. We made mistakes there. There was a lot of consequences for me and my media house. We carried stories on people like Maned Manyoa and also people like Bushiri, which resulted in a lot of strife and fighting. But that is analysis. Analysis is the portion that is giving us the most difficult responses. So it's creating friction, but it's a choice that I've made, that we're going to offer analysis. We're going to make sure that people know what is happening, because there's obviously shenanigans taking place in the political space, especially on MDC Alliance side. MDC Alliance, they create stands. For example, you saw the stand that they created today, and I want to show it to you just to demonstrate what kind of a stand I'm talking about. It's clear to me that this is a stand. This is MDC Alliance trying to gain mileage, and it's okay. It's their job as politicians to do that. But they cannot take me and try to make me part of it. That is why when I'm sitting here to do analysis, I'm going to analyze. I'm also going to produce news about MDC, whether it's favorable or not. So in a few years ago, I think that was 2020, there was a Congress here in South Africa. And MDC Alliance supporters started to fight. And we photographed them. And their chairman here in South Africa, Trasnilov, tried to stop us from photographing or from filming what was happening. And I also want to show you that what happened. Right, so you can see clearly that the MDC Alliance is not a holy party. They've got problems. They fight. So if I am sitting there and you start fighting in the MDC Alliance, don't expect me to turn off my camera because you're MDC Alliance, then I'm not supposed to take my camera. It's our job when we get to a place to film what is happening, because the only allegiance that I have is to my audience. I'm not having allegiance to ZANU-PF or to MDC or to MDCT or to Kupe or to Monzora or to Chamisa. That's not my job. That is your job. If you want to have allegiance to those people, have it. But my job is to produce the news. So specifically, I would like to say MDC Alliance, very, very disappointing. To me, they just lack that ability to understand what a media house is, especially here in South Africa. And I want to call out Trasnilov here. Trasnilov has been at the forefront of accusing our newspaper of working for ZANU-PF. And yet, he knows very well. I spend a lot of time with Trasnilov, trying to encourage him to fix the MDC Alliance here in South Africa, and giving him advice on how things should work at my own cost, including traveling hundreds of kilometers to cover the MDC Alliance events. Also, Trasnilov, the chairman of South Africa MDC, was appointed by Morgan Comich. Morgan Comich came down here with the Tendai bid, and they appointed him without a vote. And he now turns around and behaves as if MDCT are enemies. And yet those are the same people that appointed him into this position here in South Africa. So when these kind of things happen, we have a problem, because what kind of future government are we going to have if the MDC gets into office? We're going to have chaos, because the guys don't understand how to create a system. And I keep saying this. The biggest problem to me, when I look at Chamisa's party, the MDC, They cannot create a system. They cannot create a party with a name, with structures, with offices, with all those kind of things. They create theatrics. And that is the problem that I have, and which I keep explaining here, day in, day out. Right, then let me answer some quick questions, and then I wrap this up. I've answered who is Gambakwe Media. Gambakwe Media, probably one of the most impactful media houses in Zimbabwe. And I'm proud to say that we've created this. We've had impact inside and outside Zimbabwe. A lot of people get news from us. I take seriously my responsibility to provide news that is correct, accurate, and up to date. That's why you see me every day. I'm here. Monday to Friday, almost every day you see us here. In terms of Chamisa, we cover him on almost a daily basis. So let's look at this year. I have made 109 videos about Chamisa. We have written on our newspapers 864 stories about Chamisa. And I'm not even talking about Tendai BT, Job Scala, Fadzai Mahere. Thousands and thousands of stories. Our guys know that we have to cover this. We have to make sure people know what is happening in the MDC Alliance. And we won't stop. We're going to continue. And it won't be favorable stories all the time. Because the reason why you say you're young people, you want to get into office because you're young people, is you want change. And when you want change, you must understand how change works. Change is not to your advantage. Change is going to be painful. It's a double-edged sword. Sometimes some changes will hurt you. Sometimes some changes will like them. And the media is always going to be one of those things that you won't like all the time. If one day Chamisa dates Fadzai Mahere, we are going to write it and won't stop. So that is how it works. Now let's look about Jonasi and Pugeni. Why do you bring these people? Why do you let them speak about Chamisa? Is their right? So we're going to let them speak. Every Monday, Jonas comes here if he's available. Senator Kalipani Pugeni will come here on Saturday, and you say what he likes. And it's not always what I like. We've got the new parties which are coming. We're going to give them coverage. And as we move towards the elections, this time I'm going to be on the ground. You're going to be seeing more interviews, more discussions. And it will not always be MDC Alliance. MDC Alliance is not the only party. You're going to see me with ZANU-PF guys. I like ZANU-PF guys. Some of them are very, very smart. And ZANU-PF is the party in government. They are not a terrorist organization. And this business of the MDC of trying to create some stories about violence, I'm not going to just take it without analyzing it. We're going to check it. We're going to fact check it. If you say ZANU-PF has been beating you up, we want to see that video of ZANU-PF people beating you up. If you see Ostalos sitting around drinking water with ZANU-PF guys, and then he goes to the media and says he was being beaten, we're going to call him out. So that's how it works. And believe me, I don't hate ZANU-PF guys at all. I'm going to go to ZANU-PF head office there as much as I like. It is my duty and it is my right to go there. I'm going to go to MDCT office and I'm going to talk to Ngonzora. It's my right to talk to him. He's not an enemy. That is why our politics is rotten, because you have people who think their opinion is the only opinion. You've got MDC Alliance youngsters, shameless, who go on social media and write evil things about people. They have to stop. Chamisa has to call them out. Next time people block me from going to an MDC Alliance event, I want to see Chamisa giving Trustmilov a call and telling him to stop it, to stop that nonsense. Because that is not how it's supposed to be. And if the MDC Alliance is going to be a party of the future, then they have to have systems. They have to have systems of protecting journalists, systems of making sure that things work. If there are things that they don't want the public to see, they have to have systems of saying, okay, here we must put it away from the public in such a way. When you see me at a ZANU-PF function, I've got someone that I sit with, that is protecting me, that is making sure that I'm safe from anything, that is making sure that I know where to go and where not to go, and people know who is who. The MDC Alliance, they don't have that. You need to fix yourself, and you need to make sure that you've got a friendly attitude to journalists. Do not always look for the positive coverage. If you don't get it, well, you don't get it. If you get it, thank people for it. But it's not a right. It's not a right. People should not only be liked because they write nice things about you. Right. Then let's talk about MDC Alliance not coming to Gambakwe. Honestly, I don't care. If Chamisa decides not to come, if Monzora decides not to come, if Mahere decides not to come, we've been running this without these people. And it's not our right to have Chamisa or Monzora or whoever, or Kupe. I don't demand anyone to come here. And so if I bring in other people, then they will speak. Those who want to come will come. But those who don't want, I hold no grudge against them. Also, I do not seek personal relationship with any of the politicians in Zimbabwe. I do not want to have it. I do not want to have a personal relationship with any politician, because then it makes things easy for me. If I have to write something about you, then it will be sorted. And it won't make me feel uncomfortable to write anything about you. So let's fix the spelling of Chamisa here. I think the spelling of Chamisa was Chamisia. So let's fix that. Okay, that's fixed. Now let's go to, why does Gambakwe say Chamisa will lose the 2023 elections? That's a very important question. And this is part of my analysis. I've called this election this early. If Chamisa continues the way he is now, he's going to lose the 2023 election. He does not have the capacity to win it. He does not have the structures on the ground. Think tanks across the world have written about this, and I've presented them here on a fact-based basis. So based on the facts, Chamisa cannot win the elections in 2023 the way he's doing. So what he's probably going to have to do is to disrupt the election. That is the only way he can win this election, and I've called it. Also, I'm totally surprised, and I think like everyone else, on the way Chamisa is handling the issues of dialogue, the issues of a political party name, the issues of a head office, the issues of membership registers, fundraising. Those issues, I've been clear about them. And as I said to you, I've dealt in the 2018 elections. I sat with political parties, 10 to 12 political parties and their leaders. I can tell you which political parties are going to lose based on what I saw. The way Chamisa is going right now, and the way that he's running his political party, he's going to lose, hands down. And this time you don't get 30% of the parliament, you get less. He's not going to get 44% of the presidential vote. He's going to get less. And we're telling him what year? We're telling him in 2021, the election is 2023. So instead of hating Gambakwe, what he should be doing is to fix the situation. Don't go and start calling Gambakwe a ZANU-PF media house, who is your handler, and all those kind of things. That is a sign of problems in the future. If ever the MDC is come into office, we are going to have a problem where they're going to think that they are God-given or God-ordained to be in these positions, and they cannot be questioned. And then we end up having to fight to remove them from office. I always wonder, when I look at countries like South Sudan, where after a few months, they start fighting. They fix something here, and then after a few months, they start fighting. This is the kind of situation that we're going to have in Zimbabwe. If one person or one political party thinks they're so special that they cannot be questioned, that they cannot be wrong, that their opinion is the only opinion. And that is the situation that we have. So I want to wrap this up. I want to look at some comments here. And Tawia saying here, you're doing a good job, Mr. Gambakwe. Thank you, Tawia. I want to look at Joshua. Your strength is different. You actually was debating with your panelists the other day who was answering questions favorable to Chamisa, and you clearly and MDC. Okay, I want to answer you, Joshua. You're talking about Dr. Fedias Mteneri. When you see Dr. Fedias Mteneri, the person who brought him here is Gambakwe. So I ran the show here. If I don't like what Dr. Fedias Mteneri is saying, next week he won't be here. I'll just like not put him here. But you see him here week after week. Why? Because I don't think his opinions are my opinions. So I bring different people here. And when I question them, is to get a deeper answer. I think you understand what I'm saying. So it's not a debate. I'm doing what a a journalist should do, which is to question someone until they give you more than the answer they gave you in the beginning. So that is it. You don't think that when you see someone here who opposes me, I can't get rid of them. I can get rid of them, but I won't. So I'm giving MDC Alliance. I even called Fadzama here. I said to her, you are free to come here and speak. How many times have you seen Fadzama here has never had a proper interview? When she goes on SABC, they give her 5 minutes. She can't talk. She can't explain the position of the MDC. We've given her a chance. She hasn't come. We've given the MDC Alliance guys here in South Africa a chance to cover their events. Instead, they block Gambakwe and they call him a ZANU-PF journalist. Right. So they are not taking the platform. That is what I'm saying. The people that want the platform, they are taking it. Jonasi is the most understood person right now in Zimbabwe. Even though he's in ZANU-PF, he is clear in his position. Pugeni, Senator Pugeni is well understood. Everyone who sees Senator Kalipani Pugeni in Zimbabwe, he knows his position. He knows he can articulate himself. The MDC Alliance guys, they cannot create a system. That is their problem. And I want to keep repeating this. Their biggest problem is they cannot create a system. They think that an individual is a system. It's not. So Tendai Biti, Job Scala, Fadzama Here, Nelson Chamisa, if they die in a car crash, the MDC Alliance is gone. I'm telling you this today. If those four are in a car in Harare and a bus hits them, gone. No more MDC Alliance. Why? Because there's no system there. They cannot create a system. They keep going around one person, and they do not understand that this is a single point of failure. And a single point of failure proceeds even when you get into government. Look at what is happening in Zambia. You have a strong president, but you've got a weak system. So when he got in, everyone is celebrating, but things are not moving. It's like a bus without wheels, or a bus with punctured wheels. You got a driver, good driver, but he can't move because you don't have systems. Now let's go to, I want some serious comments here. These youngsters from MDC Alliance, they need some orientation of some sort, because when we started, when I was in university, the first day they started selling MDC cards, I bought my first card from Bota. There was a guy there in the SRC called Bota. And the MDC was an ideological party. What we have now are these praise singers and young guys like Ostalos. Ostalos cannot be a serious person in MDC Alliance. Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri, all those guys, they are not serious people. You can put them there, but they cannot form a future government. If you really want to be serious, to form a proper future government, you are going to start seeking out proper people. At the moment, the MDC has lost respect because they've got these youngsters that are not ready. Look at the comments that are here. Embarrassing to the MDC. Embarrassing in terms of culture. What culture is that you're putting out? When an MDC person is proud to be seen insulting in public. That was not there when the MDC was formed. When Changre was there, this was not there. And sadly, that has become the culture in the MDC. You cannot be militant if you don't have anything. You don't have muscle. And we are telling you don't have muscle. You cannot go and provoke ZANU-PF in the raw areas. Because then in 2018, in 2023, you won't be able to go there. We tell you this on a daily basis. And you create these kids where people are saying they're being beaten. When you start getting beaten for real, you will lose. And this is why I do analysis on a daily basis. Right, let's see it. Teng, you deserve to be blocked because you're biased and not a journalist. I covered that already. Let's look at something else. Gambakwe, you are actually a good journalist, but being partisan, I'm not partisan. I explained this already. I'm not going to cover MDC the way you like it. We're going to cover both sides. So, for example, when Chamisa went to Masvingo, we said Chamisa fled, or villagers fled Chamisa. And it's true. Where did you see a video of Chamisa addressing a crowd? The guy started to try to put videos from the past. I challenge anyone who was there in the MDC. There's my number. If you have a video of Chamisa addressing a crowd in the rural areas of Zimbabwe, send it to me. If you have a video of Chamisa being beaten or his people being beaten, send it to me. These theatrics are just happening because nothing was happening there. And I'm going to fact check you. We're going to fact check you every time. It doesn't matter which side you are. We're going to fact check the same way we fact check ZANU-PF. We're going to fact check the MDC because the problem is the MDC Alliance. It's almost a given that ZANU-PF is going to win. You know, ZANU-PF have been doing so much on the ground. So we're now looking more at the MDC Alliance. You say you're popular, but where is your strategy? You say you're popular, where is your structures? What is your party name? You say you are wanted by the people, but you lost in court. We're going to challenge you on all these things. Very important to challenge you, and it's our job. Right, now let's go to, I want to finish this up. I'm enjoying myself too much, and I need to end this. Is Chamisa the only threat? Talk about other people than Chamisa. We talk about different people every day, but as I said to you, Chamisa is not an unimportant person. So Chamisa is important in Zimbabwean politics. Read the daily news today. Read them tomorrow. Read them the day before. They're going to be talking about Chamisa. That's what newspapers do. When Trump was in office, CNN would not go 2 minutes without saying the word Trump. Twitter was all about Trump. So don't tell the newspapers what to write. If you are the MDC guys, let us write what we like. And you watch. If you don't like it, don't read it. If you don't like the stream, don't come on the stream. But don't say, why are you talking about Chamisa? Talk about other people. It's not your job to do that. Now, let me go to, with Knox. Zambia has only had a new president in the last couple of weeks. Well, remember, we cover all elections. We covered Malawi. We covered Zambia, covered Botswana. These celebrity presidents are not doing it. I think currently, President Mnangagwa is doing a very good job, and he's not a celebrity president. He's just ordinary. Look at the guys who came in with all these words like, we're going to change everything, change is here. They are failing dismally. Right now, Hakainde Hichilema, it's hard for him. If he was not being helped by these other countries to do well, if he was in the same situation as Zimbabwe now, he wasn't going to last. And he fires people like on almost a daily basis. So now the people are the problem, not the system. Whereas what you're supposed to fix is the system. Same problem with Chamisa. Chamisa thinks the people are the problem. The problem is the system. If you don't have a system, you are just going to be like the last guy was there. And we are telling Chamisa, have a system. Make sure that journalists can operate. Don't sit there when you see your party insulting people and don't address it. Address it in your structures. Don't have people with comments like this. That's an MDC supporter. Don't have that. ZANU-PF guys don't come here and write that kind of language. But MDC guys. And I told you, when this MDC was started, I was in university. That was around 1998. MDC would make you proud to be a member. You'll be proud to be a member of the MDC. At the moment, you won't be proud. It's a mixture of egos and lack of process, lack of constitutional structures. Like, it's embarrassing to be an MDC Alliance supporter as we speak. You see a journalist, you start chasing them. I don't understand what kind of MDC that is. You go to the rural areas, you try to provoke some old ladies, and then they chase after you, and then you run to international countries to say we're being beaten by ZANU-PF. So those kind of things, that is not the MDC that can win elections. And when I'm doing analysis, I'm going to bring it up. Those are the kind of issues that will bring up, because that is what our audience want to hear. They want to know. Don't lie to people that are going to win the elections when you haven't fixed your house. You have to fix your house, then you win elections. Then we're going to clap hands for you and say Chamisa is going to win. But at the moment, the way it is now, it's not going to happen. Right, let's go to Ruveneko said, Imbaye Munu. Right, that is what I'm talking about. So said Ruveneko. embarrassment to your family and your ancestors. So let's go to Sin. Sean says you helped weaken MDC, use ZANU-PF more. I already told you, I'm not afraid of being called ZANU-PF more because ZANU-PF is a political party like the MDC. If someone decides to be in ZANU-PF, do not insult them. They're in the party, just like yours. So why do you insult someone who's in ZANU-PF? So I want to end there because obviously we're going to be repeating ourselves here. The truth is that I'm very disappointed with the way the MDC Alliance handled the situation last week and in the past, especially MDC South Africa. We need to call them out. They are an embarrassment to the whole MDC. And I think we need to address it. And also the MDC Communications Department, very weak. People like Fadzama Here and Ostalos, not worth to be in that department. You can put them there, but you will see as time goes on that it's a mistake. Also, senior people in the MDC Alliance failing to create structures, failing to create systems, and hoping to win the 2023 elections. So said, we'll be back here on the day after the elections, analyzing what has happened, what has gone wrong. But we all know what has gone wrong. The guys just cannot create systems. So I think this is it. And I hope that tomorrow we're going to look at, there's a video that I've sort of deferred for a long time on Monzora and Chamisa. I want to compare those two. I'll do it tomorrow, and I hope that I'll have a guest or two. And Ranai Mash Chitsike, congratulations and happy birthday to you. I hope to see you soon. In fact, I've never seen you before, just like I've never seen Chamisa. So I hope we'll be able to talk. I had you here as a guest when you were in Zimbabwe. And for sure, what you told me about Zimbabwe is true. Things are going well in Zimbabwe. And sanctions, if only we could remove sanctions in our country. If everybody would come and say, guys, let's get rid of these sanctions, let's get our country working, we will be in a far much better position than where we are now. Thank you very much, everybody. And I really enjoyed giving you my opinion on the MDC Alliance. And the MDC guys are welcome here. You should be able to have a robust debate. Don't hide in a corner. We want you guys to come out, sell your policies to the person who doesn't believe in you. And let's hear what it is that you want to offer us in 2023. Otherwise, what you're just doing now is you're looking for someone to massage you. And I'm not going to massage anybody, especially a man. I'm not going to be massaging any man as it is. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. And good night.